get some food in you. Step 3, you grow hard about what you want to be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yeah.
Live trainings this February, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 5 p.m. Pacific. Ash Knows Travel.
Welcome to Ash Knows Travel. The future of travel has arrived. Let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Ash, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Ash Knows Travel, where I share trainings, walkthroughs, and insider tips to help travel advisors build confidence and book smarter. And tonight's training is all about what vendors to use and why. We're going to talk through how to choose the right suppliers, what makes vendors worth your time, and how using the right vendors can make booking easier, smoother, and more profitable for you and your clients. This training is going to be especially helpful if you've ever felt just like overwhelmed by options or unsure what vendors to lean into as you grow. So if you are live here, you already know the drill. Go ahead and drop a quick hello in the chat so I know that you are here. And if you happen to be watching this on a replay, I want you to go ahead and comment replay for me so that I know that you stopped by. Now you're probably wondering, Ash, where are you? I want to see your face, right? Hold on, we're getting there, okay? Now, before I get started tonight in my training, I actually wanted to show you something that I don't know if a lot of you guys actually know about, okay? So when it comes to my trainings, I try to be as organized as possible. And I know sometimes that like YouTube can kind of overwhelm you when it comes to videos. So I wanted to show you guys my website that I've been working on real quick, and just kind of a way to make it easier for you to be able to find my trainings. So if you go to ashknowstravel.com, here's my site, just like this, and you click on this button right here that says training videos. Once you open that, it actually pulls up all of my trainings. As soon as they get loaded in there, they get pulled up, okay? But if you click right here and you do the search, you can literally find whatever video you're looking for. So let's just say you're looking for a niche training. Here we have the niche trainings. Here's the most recent one that I just did, right? If we wanted to find a VAX training, you could just type in VAX. It tells me VAX. Let's see, Royal Caribbean. Okay. No matter where I'm going with this, you kind of get where I'm going, right? So I wanted to show you guys that so it makes it easier for you if you're trying to find a training. And if you click like one of the videos, like if we did one of the walkthroughs, you guys can easily find the information for the trainings, all of the details, and watch the video there if you choose to, or even just go straight into YouTube. All right. So I try to make it as easy as possible for you guys. So if you need help finding any of my YouTube videos, please just go to my website, ashknowstravel.com, and you can find them there. Now, continuing, before I start, I always like to share with you guys what I'm doing throughout the month. So tonight we're doing what vendors to use and why. And starting next week, we're going to be going into I'm doing both. I'm doing not only team building, but I'm also doing travel business as well. So what to say when someone asks about the business, I do that on Tuesday. On there, I'm going to be talking about what not only to say when it comes to clients, because we get stuck with this a lot. When people ask us, what do you do for a living? Okay, that's what we get stuck with. So I'm going to talk about that. I'm also going to talk about team building in there. And then on the 19th, we're going to talk about how to retain agents, because that's something that we all struggle with. Yes. So yeah, make sure you guys also hop on these dates so you can find out about that. But let's go ahead and dive in, shall we? For what we are actually going to be talking about tonight. We are going to actually be sharing what vendors to use and why, and basically how I choose vendors without overcomplicating the process. Yes. I feel like, especially for a lot of my audience here, a lot of you guys are new. And one of the scariest things we get is when we get a new booking is like, okay, what do we do with that booking? Where do we go? Who do we talk to? What do we search for? Right. So tonight, my goal is to just show you how I choose vendors, how I what my go-to vendors are, and how I kind of rank them, et etc. I'm also going to give you a really cool gift for tonight. You're going to get a whole full like list of travel suppliers that you guys can use. So I'm pretty excited about it. And let's go ahead and dive in, shall we? So, what vendors to use and why? Now, before I get started, I want you guys to kind of change your mindset on what you think about when it comes to vendors, okay? How to think about vendors. First of all, you do not need every vendor. Here at Archer Travel, we have access to over 130 plus vendors. Do we need all of them? No, okay? But we do need a few strong go-to options, a backup when something isn't available, and confidence knowing where to look next if we're running out of options. And I feel like that's probably the hardest three parts that we go through when we first start booking travel. But having these options keeps bookings fast and profitable. And kind of as we go through this, I'm going to point out the vendors that I personally use and why. And then, of course, like I told you guys tonight, at the end of this, I will give you guys a gift where you guys can have your own reference and just build your own list that you are comfortable with. Okay. Now, continuing. Important reminder though, before I get started, I do have to let you guys know vendor availability depends on the destination of where they're going, the country too, and then the product type. Now, that also goes so far as to say the vendors that I cover are mostly going to be for the United States tonight. It does depend on the country that you are located on. That you would have access to those vendors. So I can't guarantee that everybody's going to have access if you guys are from different countries. You need to go inside the travel cafe and check availability for exactly for your country to make sure you have it, okay? Also, if you're booking a popular land or hotel or resort, always check direct. I want to start with that because many brands have travel agent booking portals that we miss. And a lot of those brands also have reward programs for themselves built inside. Like, I'm going to give you a prime example. Marriott has a really good one. Sandals has a good one. Carnival has a good one. But you guys, they have a lot of different cool tactics and just different marketing stuff that they offer us when we book direct. So if you find yourself using the same hotel, the same resort, like if you book Secrets and Dreams a lot, you need to go check out their direct sites because they have a really good travel agent site for us too. Like check directly when you guys are looking for vendors. Now, I'm going to give you a key tip to this, especially if you're new. How do I find out if they're direct? I got you. So all you have to do is type in whatever vendor you're using, like Marriott, for example, Marriott, and then put travel agent login, and it will automatically populate if it has one, or it will lead you into the direction that you want, okay? If all else fails, you can always call directly to the vendor and ask them, hey, do you guys have a site? But normally you can find it online if they do, all right? But please note, like I said, I can't guarantee who has access to what vendors. I know that these are good for the United States, but outside of that, please check in the travel cafe if you have access to these vendors. Okay, now continue. Cruises, my go-to. So how I want to do this basically for tonight is I'm going to give you guys my top vendors. So get a pen and paper if you have a specific niche and you don't know where to go for that vendor. I got you for tonight, okay? So I'm going to go by category that are for my top vendors. You don't have to use them, okay? But what I'm hoping for is that maybe I will expose you to a new vendor that you haven't seen before, or maybe I'll give you a tip on how to use the vendor better if you are already experienced in your, used to using vendors here, okay? So starting with my first one, I have cruises. Now cruises, for the most part, you guys know that we have to go to basically the vendor, right? Can we all agree that we have to go to the vendor when we go booking cruises? And I have the vendors listed for you, okay? But basically the reason I put this very short and simple on here is because if you're not going directly to the vendor, like you're going to Cruising Power for Royal Caribbean, you're going to Carnival for Carnival, right? Like those are like my go-to, right? You have to go by vendor here. But I want to tell you a little secret, okay? Cruise Complete right here, which is actually located inside Agent Universe, has a really good cruise booking platform. You don't have to use it. You can go and book directly still and get normally the same prices. but it does give us the ability to go and analyze all of the cruises for those specific dates or where they're departing from, etc. So I really like to use that as my primary go-to for the cruise, so I can go and look at all the cruises available and then go and directly buy vendor as I kind of break it down. But I always start at Cruise Complete. I highly recommend checking out Agent Universe when it comes to cruises because they have a lot of good cruise resources and access for us. But I will tell you, honestly, I start at Cruise Complete and then I break it down per vendor. Now, on my reference guide that I'm giving you guys tonight, it has the full list for you, okay? But cruises, they're direct. You have to go to the vendors to book them, so it's kind of limited on what we can do, right? But continuing. Resort and vacation packages. Now, this is a little bit bigger window. Can we agree? It's a bigger opportunity here. So I'm going to break it down in two ways. I say resort and vacation packages because you can book hotels and packages too, but you have to understand there's a difference between booking a package and then just booking a hotel and a flight. Now, that is considered a package, yes, but how do I explain this? When I'm booking certain packages, I can't go directly to Expedia because I'm not going to get a good deal. Like, I have to have a good vendor for my packages. Yes. Okay. That's what I'm trying to say. So basically for resort and vacation packages, my favorite picks where I start out with is normally VAX for Mexico, US, and Caribbean. And I put VAX, but inside VAX, I use FunJet inside there. I always use FunJet for Mexico, US, and Caribbean. I start there. If I notice that it's a really good rate or we have a really good deal, I will also go over to Travel Impressions inside VAX. Okay, VAX, but FunJet, Travel Impressions. Here we are. These are the top three vendors: Apple Vacations, Travel Impressions, and FunJet. They all lay inside VAX. Okay, but they have different purposes. So FunJet normally has the best prices for Mexico, US, and Caribbean. Right here for Travel Impressions, they typically do direct flights. If you can't find a good direct flight in FunJet, come over here and try it. You'll find some good direct flights. But I'll tell you, they typically pay out higher for their commissions. They have a higher commission rate. So normally it'll be a little bit more expensive. But if you have a really good deal inside VAX, who cares if it's a little bit more expensive because the deal is going to kick in, which means you get paid higher commission, right? So continuing. Following Mexico, US, and Caribbean, I also like Pleasant Holidays. You have to be here for 30 plus days in order to register with Pleasant Holidays. But if you don't like to try them, you can also try Vacation Express. Now on Tuesday, I did a full Vacation Express walkthrough for you guys, okay? So you can check them out. But I really, honestly, I use Vacation Express first normally because I book a lot of Caribbean resorts. So I start Vacation Express, and then if I don't like the package, I'll go over to VAX. But I'm going to tell you a secret, okay? A lot of the times you're going to notice with vendors that certain hotels don't exist within each other. Like for VAX, there's going to be certain resorts that just don't exist in there. And that doesn't mean that you can't book them. It just means that that particular vendor is not open to booking that resort. Like they get limited spots for what they get options for booking, okay? I say that because Vacation Express is a very safe alternative for this scenario. So if you're in VAX and you can't find a specific resort, like I'm going to give you an example. Moon Palace, normally not inside VAX, but I can find it in Vacation Express. And if I can't find it in Vacation Express, I'll find it in Pleasant Holidays. Do we understand? Do we see where I'm going? I have an alternative. That's my alternative. Write that down, okay? So start in VAX. Normally, if you want like a basic vacation package, if it's like Caribbean, Mexico, you could check out Vacation Express and Pleasant Holidays. But that's how I build into it, okay? Now, the other places we normally book is Europe. We book a lot of Europe, okay? I feel like personally, Apple Vacations is probably one of my best vacation packages for Europe. Now, not tours. We're going to get into tours, okay? But if they just want a hotel and a flight over there to Europe, then I really, really suggest Apple Vacations. They just have the best packages for that area, okay? But there are other vendors that we'll talk about for Europe, but that's the starting part, okay? Now, moving on. Hotels, when not in packaging. We're not always going to book a whole package. Sometimes we just need to book a hotel. Normally, my go-to vendor is either going to be VAX or Expedia Tap. Expedia Tap is good when it's going to happen very soon because we don't have to do a full, credit card authorization form where they have to do the IDs and all of that, and they have to submit it, okay? When you guys are using certain vendors within 21 days, you have to go and do the extra forms, etc., right? I'm going to even tell you, Vacation Express, if you're booking within 30 days, they have their own credit card authorization form that they require on top of ours. Okay. So pay attention to the dates of when you're booking something, but also pay attention to the fact that, like, where is it easiest to book? If it's easiest for me to just go in and book this hotel real quick in Expedia, great. I'm going to go in there and book it, right? But if they need a deposit for their hotel, try Vax. Vax does a $50 deposit. Vacation Express also does a $50 deposit on hotels only, okay? But if I'm just booking one of those quick hotels, I normally start in Expedia and just say, here you go, take it, right? Because that's not the main focus of my niche. That's not where I make a lot of money. You need a simple booking, I got you. But if it needs to be more complex, we can go through Vax. If I were to go through Vax, I would still start with FunJet. FunJet is normally my normal, like, first go-to when it comes to hotels only, and then I go from there. Listen, write this down. Vax and Vacation Express, they do $50 deposits. That's the best part about them, okay? When you add in flights, the deposit goes higher, but as long as it's like 90 days out at least, you can get in a lock-in rate for $50 deposit, and that's a main seller for us when it comes to putting out packages. Yes? Not even packages, hotels only. The alone, that's normally where it starts, right? So those are those vendors. Next one, tours. Keep it simple. Okay, now the tour's life is a really rough life. Can we all agree? The tour life is a rough life sometimes because we have a lot of tour vendors and there's a lot of different options and there's a lot of different tours. So I just say keep it simple. And when it comes to tours, the first thing you need to think about is where they're going. Everyone matters where they're going and it matters where they want to stop. And that's going to really just kind of set down what vendors you can use. Trafalgar is a really good one. It has most of the locations inside of it. Insight Vacations is not as popular, but I still use them. And then Europe Express, obviously for Europe, right? Now, depending on the vacation, sometimes you can come in and build what we call custom. It's called FIT travel or FIT travel. And that's basically where you can build the itinerary. So when it comes to building the itinerary, I use Septra Vacations or Avanti Vacations to build them. This means that you can do a custom fit group like tour, okay? It doesn't have to be a group, but custom fit tour where it's like they are going specifically to these destinations. I will tell you, this guy right here, you could go in there and just tell them exactly where they want to go. In about 2 days, they'll give you an entire itinerary and just picks out the hotels and everything. It's really nice. Avanti Vacations also kind of does the same thing. Now, this one right here, Windy Woo Tours, this is a really brand new popular like tour company. So I want to throw it out there because they have some really good tours too, okay? But when it comes to tours, there's one on here that I actually don't have. Now, I have like the whole list, like Exotica, Tour Radar, all of those, okay? And you guys can use those, but I'm going to tell you, Trafalgar has 90% of what's going on, like in Katiki tours, the Tour Radars, like it has the main starting part. So that's where I start, okay? Then you can go and break down to the other ones. But when it comes to tours, guys, if you are going to be booking a lot of tours, get comfortable with specific vendors, okay? Exotica is normally our most like popular vendor when it comes to tours, and they have really good deposits. But another one too, like there's a lot of good tour companies. Culture Holidays. Culture Holidays is really good. But the thing about Culture Holidays is that they run it through like a foreign country like database. So they have to get like extra protection when they're running it. Like it's not extra protection. Basically, like they think it's fraud. So they have to call and verify that they are planning to purchase that with Culture Holidays. Now, that's not for every booking that it happens, but if you have a really secure bank, they're like, who's Culture Holidays, right? And you just got to confirm it. So, some people don't like that. So if you don't like that, then just go ahead and use like Trafalgar. You can use Tour Radar. You can use Culture Holidays if you want the authorization. I mean, there's just a lot of tours, okay? So try to keep it simple based off of where they're going, start with that, and then their budget, because some of these places get a little expensive, okay? But there's a lot of tour companies. Next, flights. Flights are something a little different for us, yes? Flights normally do not automatically pay commission. We should all know that by now, okay? It's a good thing because flights can really be up and down, okay? Sometimes people will be finding a flight price and I don't argue with them. Oh, you're finding it for $600? Well, I got it for $300. I'm going to go in there and add me $100 fee. I found it for $400. Here you go. Right? Like, it's a good thing for us because it's a great way for us to make money. So it's very important that you guys do leave a little pathway for flights, but don't spend too much time booking flights only. If somebody comes to you and they say, I want to book a flight. Okay, we can do it, okay, but we're gonna get paid for it, right? We agree. We all agree. Yes, we're all gonna get paid for booking flights because if not, you guys are gonna drive yourself crazy. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. As somebody who's been here for 4 years, flights are my least concern. I don't care about flights normally. Like I told you guys the other night, if you were on corporate Zoom, I was telling you guys the other night, every booking that I do now, because I do a lot of quotes for people, and a lot of quotes doesn't always mean a booking, but every quote can also mean a mock booking. So when I'm doing quotes for people, I generally just start out by showing them the rooms or showing them the cruises. After that, you want a package? Okay, do you want the specific dates? I can get you a package, but let me make sure this is what you want. Why I do that is because I can take that same quote and turn it into a mock booking. So I'm going to make sure I get use out of these prices. I'm not going to keep quoting for free, right? Now, when you're doing flights, obviously that puts you in a box. So keep that in mind, okay? I know that's off topic, but I feel like you guys just really get excited about flights when you first start. And I just want you guys to know that's not where the money is. That's not what we're trying to book. Yeah, you can help your friends and family, etc., but we're not going to lead with let me just book flights. Please don't do that. Okay. Now, back to topics discussion. Flights do not automatically pay commission. So you either have to, one, add commission or a planning fee separately. You can look in the back office. I believe it's Tommy Joe that has a travel Evo Plus training that you guys can watch. It's the same thing. If you can do Evo Plus, you can add a flight. You just need to add a service fee, and she teaches you directly how to do so. I also have a training on my website, how to book flights only. If you go to my website, ashknowstravel.com, type in how to book flights, it'll tell you. I have it all in there, okay? Next, you also can try VAX. VAX will not book one-way flights, but they will book, there's certain options that says flight only, and it will do round trip flights, and then you can add commission in there. Lastly, you can also use consolidators like Centrav is probably one of my best consolidators that I have. They sometimes will include commission, and then they'll give you the ability to add more if there's certain options for flights. Centrav is really good if you guys book a lot of international flights. Try centrav.com. They're pretty good about that. Okay, continuing. Activities and excursions. So there's a lot of options for this. Yes. I'm going to give you my top 3 favorites. You guys can kind of choose which ones you want. I have more listed, but I always use Viator because they have a pretty awesome affiliate link and people like Viator. They use Viator, so it's natural for them. And they have the option of paying when they arrive. We like that, right? Get Your Guide. I don't know why it's all together, but Get Your Guide is pretty fantastic for tours and attractions, and they have a very good pay rate for commission. Venture Shores. Now, I'm going to tell you something about this, okay? Little tidbit from Ash Knows Travel. You guys can use Venture Shores for excursions. If you want to get paid for excursions, a lot of you guys complain because Virgin Voyages, I think, is the only one that actually pays anything outside of a cruise, okay? Like they pay for like certain parts of like, what is it, the bar tab, etc. Like they have certain things that they pay for. But if you want to actually get paid for the excursions and not just let them book on their own, you can do Venture Shores, but you have to let them know that they are responsible for making sure that they get back on the ship on time. That is not something that's going to be kind of perfected into when you're booking an excursion on the ship. They have that set in place, not with these. So you have to make sure that you guys keep up with the time if you're going to book an excursion outside of a cruise vendor. Okay, continuing. Extras, I always recommend. I feel like these are kind of things that you guys can have in your back pocket. Now, there's a lot more out there, okay? There's a lot of vendors, but some things I like to use a lot, especially for those who do family travel. I feel like a lot of you that I train do family travel. So you guys should know about Baby Quip. It has baby gear rentals that you guys, and it also has an affiliate link that you guys can use. So check that out. And then 10 Leg. You know, I'm a sucker for 10 Leg. I love 10 Leg travel insurance, and they pay on point, okay? They even pay on point to where one time I submitted one, and the lady literally canceled her trip. I still got paid for the 10 Lake travel insurance. So thank you. And they have a really good commission rate and they pay out right after the trip. So we like them. Okay. And an affiliate link. They book that 10 Lake travel insurance on their own. As soon as I book a trip for somebody, I don't do normally the travel insurance inside the vendor. I go, here you go. Here's your travel insurance. Make sure you book it. And then I just file the commission tracking form. Okay. These kind of things add value and professionalism to bookings because you're like the extra added person. I do the same thing with my Viator. As soon as I book a trip for somebody, I send them the location of where they're going and the dates. I send that to them and say, hey, take a look at this. You guys are going here. You might want to check this out, right? So make sure you guys listen. Make sure you guys see me on corporate Zoom the last Friday of the month. I'm doing how to market affiliate links, and I'm really good at it. So you guys want to find out how to do I do that. I'll explain more about affiliate links, but there's several ways that you guys can take these vendors that you're already using and then just fluff up your stuff to make it look like, hey, by the way, I can do this and I can take care of this. And then you get paid all the way through, right? Now, continuing. Lastly, one of the few vendors we have are ground transportation. I feel like this is not covered enough, but we need it, okay? A lot of us, this is the missing puzzle piece for some things. So make sure you guys always include ground transportation. Downtown travel, they have transfers, they have transportations, they have rental cars. Agent Universe actually has a full list of direct vendors that you guys can go to for rental cars. Like they have all types of ground transportation and it has a list inside of it. So the Agent Universe, just go into their vendors. They give you an entire, I mean, it's a long list of just different tools and like different vendors you can use, okay? Lastly, Expedia Tap. Expedia Tap offers airport transfers, rental cars. They offer a couple of other things too, but mostly that's what I go to when I first start. I just do Expedia Tap, okay? Now, the reason I speak about ground transportation is because you guys are so used to including it inside the package. But I'm going to tell you something. Inside that package, it's typically like $100 for a round transfer, right? If you go over to Expedia Tap, it's cheaper. Okay, so if you have an issue where it's too expensive, and sometimes I have this issue, especially on Vacation Express, they charge more for certain transfers. I will not include it in the quote and just go quote it outside of it and add it after because it's like 20 or 30 bucks a lot of the times on Expedia Tap as to where on Vacation Express it's like 100, right? So just a little tidbit there, okay, if you have an issue. But that is who I use for ground transportation. Okay, now I have given you a lot of vendors. Yes, I've probably overwhelmed you with vendors, and I don't want to do that. Okay, because my final thoughts on this is that guess what? You don't need to memorize vendors. You will start using the same vendors over and over, and you will get comfortable with them. You just have to start playing around with them. And the best way to do so is a mock booking. Just start setting up trips that you think people might want to take and then you will get better with your vendors. Okay. With that, I want you to focus on your core vendors, knowing where to look next if you run out of options, and just having that confidence when you're using them. That's what you have to focus on. Okay. That's it. All right. Now, do you want the full vendor guide? Yes. This is not going to be too long of a training because honestly, I just want to show you what I do. That's my goal for the month of February, is to show them how I operate. This is how I operate. Okay. Now, if you want a full vendor list to save for later, go ahead. You know the engagement deal here. Comment vendors for me, and I'm going to go ahead and drop it in the chat for you now. And I'm going to show it to you too while you're commenting. Ready? Boom. Look how beautiful this is. Travel vendor reference guide. Now, I'm going to be updating this as I go, so I might add more vendors later, okay? But important notes, just make sure you track the travel cafe, suppliers, not how to register. I don't know why that's there. Sometimes they do have how to register for the most accurate, but that's cool. Travel suppliers, travel cafe and suppliers so you guys can see what's like available in your country, okay? And then always check direct. There's cruises, there's a bunch of them, hotels and resorts, yeah. Profit agility, travel cafe. I like how it has access. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Because I didn't even put that in there. That must have went in there automatically. Flights. You know what I did? I'm gonna tell you a secret of what I did here. I took all of these and I put them into ChatGPT, and then I told ChatGPT to remember them. So now when I need help, it tells me what vendors it suggests. Suggestion, yeah. I even got private jet options. Boom. Theme parks. I don't really cover theme parks because I feel like you're just booking the resort and hotel, then you book the tickets. Yeah. Vacation homes. Yeah. These are something we don't ever really cover. Yep. Tours, activities and excursions. I got all the sites, even Events 365, which is another option for golden tickets. I got this. I even got downtown travel, car rentals. I got some direct sites for you guys. Rail, Europe Express, Rail Bookers. I'm gonna tell you something about these right here, guys. Sometimes you have to add commission. There's not always commission tacked into railing, so make sure you note that, okay? And then my extras. So yeah, if you want this, go ahead and comment vendors now so I can give it to you. I'm gonna go ahead and click this, click share, and hit done. I'm gonna come over here to my studio now and share it with you. Give me 1 second. All right, you should have that now, okay? So that is all I really wanted to share with you guys tonight. Like I said, I will be back next Tuesday. I got some good trainings coming up. Listen. Next Tuesday, I'm going to have what to say when someone asks you about the business. That's a good training, right? This is something that we get stuck on and I think we get nervous about. So I want to talk about that one, all right? But that is all I have for you guys tonight. Please go ahead and make sure you like this video, share it with your teams, and comment. Let me know if it helped you. I hope maybe you got some new vendors out of here. Tell me some new vendors that you guys have found, or just how this has helped you. Give me some feedback. And if not, I will see you guys on Tuesday, yes? Where we'll be talking about what to say when somebody asks about your business. So I'm going to go ahead now, head over to my studio so I can see the live chat that you guys are posting in. And I'm going to comment there. If you have questions, feel free to drop them. And if not, I will see you on Tuesday. You guys all have a wonderful evening.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason, though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, grow.
Thanks for watching Ash Knows Travel. The future of travel starts here. I'll see you at the next session for more exciting adventures.